Hi everybody, welcome to Screening Room. My name is Ty Bjorson and I'd like to invite you to this episode where we're going to talk about date movies. And how did we arrive to that? We're coming up on Sweetest Day, which is similar to Valentine's Day that's observed here in the Midwest, and that'll be this coming weekend on Saturday the 15th. So it seemed appropriate to talk about the date movies that we enjoy.
Okay, well, to start off, I'm going to talk about A Walk to Remember, a classic Nicholas Sparks movie. It was directed by Adam Shankman, and it stars Mandy Moore and Shane West, thank you, I'm sorry. They play two characters who end up falling in love in classic Nicholas Sparks, but with a twist when she gets diagnosed with cancer. But at the beginning of the movie, they start out with him being a rebellious teenage boy who doesn't know his way in life yet, and then she's the goody girl who dresses very plainly and doesn't have any friends, and it just turns into a very cute little romantic relationship. I really liked the movie. It had your cute soundtrack, very romantic, a little cheesy at times though. There were a few scenes where they definitely amped up the innocence of them two. For once, they had a scene where he puts a butterfly tattoo on her shoulder, which is very 2000s kind of a style, and that was a little, cringeworthy, but it wasn't the worst thing. And I think my favorite part was when they were walking along the pier and they had their first kiss. It was a very sweet moment. And along with other things in the movies, they had their classic mean girls style. They would bash on each other, and they had a scene where he stands up for her and he has a fight with his friends, which kind of put the point of where they kind of put their relationship to the school, very high school musical kind of a thing. They got to stand with each other and find out who they are as people. So without any other things going on in this movie, I'd say one thing I wish they would have done differently is probably made it a little bit more on the comedy side of it. But it was a very good movie in my opinion. So what about your guys' movies? Trailer. Oh, I'm sorry. And then the trailer. The trailer is very cute. It's fun, and it kind of puts a good point to the movie.
One, 2, 3!
Landon Carter was heading nowhere fast.
What, are you going to expel me?
It's time for you to start spending time with other kinds of people.
Don't blow it, Landon.
Jamie Sullivan
Wore that dress in the 4th grade. Nice sweater. Thank you.
knew exactly who she was.
So what's your deal, huh? You don't care what people think about you?
No.
Now, two people who had nothing in common.
I need help with my work.
Landon Carter's asking me for help?
Please.
Okay.
Have everything to learn from each other.
Landon Carter's coming here.
Dad, I'm not a child.
Well, it's him I don't trust, not you.
Landon, where have you been?
Nowhere, man.
What's with you, man? It's like you don't even have time for your real friends anymore.
Hey, Carter. So I'll see you after school?
I'm in your dreams.
Welcome to the planet. This girl's changed you and you don't even know it, man.
Come on, Jamie. Open the door, please. Listen, Jamie, I was hoping we could...
We could be good friends.
Exactly. It's like you're reading my mind.
Great. Maybe you could read mine.
Jamie, I miss spending time with you.
Prove it.
This is about me, okay? This is not you. We're through. Maybe you're just too scared that someone might actually want to be with you.
And why would that scare me?
Because you want to be with me, too.
You know, I was getting along with everything fine, and then you happened.
I'm not going anywhere. Please tell Jamie that. She makes me want to be different, better. I might kiss you.
I might be bad at it.
It's not possible.
So So this movie definitely pulls at every heartstring it can find. You fall in love just as quickly as the characters do. I think it was a really well-made film. What do you guys have any opinions?
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I remember taking my then girlfriend, now wife, to go see it, and I wasn't expecting much of anything, but I was won over by its sweetness and just overall charm, and it was definitely a very pleasant movie, and I too recommend it very highly for a date movie, absolutely.
Yeah, I remember when I watched it when I was young, I cried a lot, but I watched it this weekend, and I don't think it aged well. I don't think the actors are good in that movie. I'm sorry to say that, but I cried a lot again. But that's it. It's a walk to remember. So now let's talk about a movie called Amélie, which is a French movie, a French comedy and romance.
We still got to talk about our movie. So a few things I wanted to say about A Walk to Remember. I have a few fun facts about it. For instance, he has a car in the movie that it was like a Camaro, I think, or something like that. I'm not very good with cars. But anyway, he fell in love with the car so much that after the movie was over, he bought it for only $5,000. So that was a fun little fact from there.
Wow, I think you got a deal.
And then another one, Mandy Moore is also a singer, so I looked up her music. It was very early 2000s, and it was a little painful to listen to. It had a lot of Avril Lavigne, Hilary Duff, and those early 2000s hairstyles and clothing.
Right.
It was kind of funny to watch.
Right, that Lizzie McGuire was kind of coming down.
Yeah, Lizzie McGuire.
Right at that time, and I don't think
Definitely.
Hannah Montana had taken off yet.
And now we'll be moving on to Perfect Pets.
Hi guys, so I'm Gil, and today I'm going to talk about the movie Amélie, which is a French comedy and romance directed by the French screenwriter and director Jean-Pierre Jeunet. So Jean-Pierre Jeunet is well known for some other movie like Alien Resurrection, Delicatessen, and The Young Prodigious T.C. Spivet. The movie is starring Audrey Tautou, which is one of the most famous French actresses who played in The Da Vinci Code and A Very Long Engagement. It's also starring Mathieu Kassovitz, who is an actor and director also known for La Haine. The French movie is about 2 hours. It's released in 2001 and it was nominated for 13 Césars, which is the Oscars of France, and 5 Academic Awards. So now let's watch the trailer.
Do you know what these people have in common? This is Amélie. With the discovery of a simple childhood treasure, she begins a quest to fix other people's lives. And perhaps her own as well.
Hey, so if you love French stereotypes and you're a dreamer, I would advise you to watch that movie. You're gonna love it. It's the story of Amélie Poulain, who was born in the suburbs of Paris in the 70s, and she moved in her 20s to central Paris in the neighborhood of Montmartre, which is the most beautiful place in Paris. And she worked at the Café Les Deux Moulins. And so she amused herself with simple pleasure of life. And so she's gonna fall in love with a random person in the train station who's called Nino Quincampoix, and it's love at the first sight. And after spending her life trying to make her friends and her family happy, she's gonna finally fall in love. So one day, Amélie discovered a small box behind a wall in her bathroom. It contains pictures and toys from decades before, and Amélie decides to anonymously return it to his owner, and if he is touched by the gesture, which is gonna happen, she will dedicate her life to acts of kindness. And so meanwhile, Amélie tries to make people happy around her, like her dad, the caretaker of her building, and people from the cafe. She will visit her neighbors, who is going to remind her that she has to be happy too. So Amélie is resolved to talk to Nino, but she's finally too shy. But encouraged by her neighbor, she pursued the man she loves, and he was finally waiting at her door. So it's such a great movie. I don't know, every time that I watch it, it makes me so happy because it's a vintage love story in the streets of Paris. And I wouldn't say it's about love, but it's about happiness. And in general, love makes people happy for sure, but some more people are interested in paintings or travels or even vegetables like in the movie, but Amélie spreads happiness around her, and that's the most important thing in the movie. And I love the cinematography of that movie. There are a lot of close-ups. Jean-Pierre Jeunet gives a lot of importance to very small details, and it's very funny. So it's very well written too. I think it's very different than any movies that I ever watched before. Also, the music is very important, and it's all like I was listening to the soundtrack when I was writing this, and there are like more than 35 million views on YouTube, and it's just so crazy how the success is. Right. I don't know what you think about that movie, but I would say that it represents well the city of love and the state of mind of Paris.
I agree. The soundtrack is definitely something that's been with me. I remember that really vividly from the last time I watched it. It has such like a French vibe to it, and it makes you want to be there, walking the streets. Soundtrack does a lot to a film, and this one definitely did it well with it. Have you seen the film, and what do you think?
I have the film at home, and we have the soundtrack. And
really?
My wife introduced it to me, and I'm like, "How did you find out about it?" She's like, "Oh, it was recommended, and it was such a sweet movie, and very endearing." I think that in itself spoke volumes, just the overall charm, and it's a soundtrack we like to listen to on road trips. So.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Just listening to French music on the road.
Yep, absolutely.
I also love how quirky the film is. It's a fun little quirky twist to a film. And if you're interested in the Communications Club, we have some information on that. And the Communications Studies Club goes over things that you can do for your major and what will help you in your future of communications.
Hi there, Ty here. We'd like to talk about my date movie now, and it's not something that you'd think somebody in my demographic would go for, but I certainly did. And that would be the 1991 Walt Disney production of Beauty and the Beast. Came out in November of that year, and it actually won the first Golden Globe for Best Picture. And it was nominated for Best Picture also, but unfortunately it lost to Silence of the Lambs. It had a lot of competition that year. Very sweet and endearing movie about the fairy tale Beauty and the Beast. And in case you're unfamiliar with that storyline, the premise is primarily about the young woman who has a father who falls in with the beast and he won't let him go, and then the daughter seeks the father and is willing to trade her life for her father's freedom to stay with the beast in his castle. And on that note, here's the trailer.
New 30th full-length animated motion picture.
Is anyone here?
Mama, there's a girl in the castle.
Good.
A girl! The classic story of Beauty and the Beast. He was a lonely beast, cursed by a mysterious spell, and she was the beautiful young girl who could set him and his kingdom free.
She's the one. She has come to break the spell.
They were two complete opposites.
I don't want to have anything to do with him.
She is being so difficult.
Until something wonderful happened.
There's something sweet.
Straighten up.
And almost kind.
Show me the smile.
But he was mean and he was coarse and unrefined. And now he's dear.
You look so...
And so unsure.
stupid.
I wonder why I didn't see it there before.
It's a story filled with fun.
Oh, I beg your pardon.
Adventure.
Sacre bleu! Invaders!
And dozens of wonderful new Disney characters.
Keep it down.
Featuring 6 new songs from the Academy Award-winning composer and lyricist of The Little Mermaid. This holiday season, share the fun, the magic, and the music of an entertainment event you'll never forget. Disney's Beauty and the Beast.
When Beauty and the Beast came out in 1991, it was the second film in the new wave of Disney animation films that came out that brought Disney back on the map as professionals and kings of their ability to tell fairy tales, so to speak. In the 1980s, Disney was almost bankrupt, and by the end of the 80s, they were coming back on top with The Little Mermaid, followed by Beauty and the Beast, and into Aladdin and other features throughout. And this, I think, is probably the strongest of those films, in my opinion, and I'm basing that on how the narrative, how it flows with Belle, the daughter, and the relationship with her father. It felt very real to me, and the musical numbers, wonderful, and there was even a closing song, Beauty and the Beast, done by Celine Dion, who would later win the Oscar in 1997 with Titanic, with My Heart Goes On. So the animation was good, and the cheer was good, and it was one of those movies where you left the theater feeling, you know, I saw a really good Disney movie, and it's been a while. So what did you think of Beauty and the Beast?
I don't think I ever saw it in theaters, though. I saw it on like a VHS. But I always loved Beauty and the Beast. I thought it was always such a cute movie. When I was younger, I remember I always would get scared when she was running through the woods to get to the castle. But I always liked the dad. The dad was funny because he was like tinkering around, right? He would play with like tools and like making things, and she'd be like, "Okay, yeah, like it's a good thing. Go for you." But it was also very beautifully done. I thought their animation of objects was like, I realized it was like drawn, but it was very pretty to watch, and they put a lot of detail into the design and the color. And I think my favorite was like the music and the scene in the dining hall with all the dancing silverware and stuff. What about you?
Well, I love all the Disney movies, but especially this one. I don't know, Belle is such, I think she's my favorite princess because she's so delicate, so sweet. I don't know, there is something that I love about her. I mean, she's very cute and
she's very independent and book smart.
Yeah, and Oh, the songs. I mean, I know them whole by heart in French. Sorry, but in English, I'm just so confused. But
And there's an additional song added into a 2002 release called "Human Again." It was something that they had storyboarded and that they wanted to use in the original version of the film, but they didn't have time, and then Disney was able to put that back in for a later release.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's one of the first movies that I ever watched, so it's very special to me. I'm really happy that you talked about it today. Disney is...
Right, just light and breezy. That's just the way you like it on Sweetest Day.
Yeah, I also liked the Beast and how you watched his character development go through the entire movie and how he kind of went from being this harsh person, right? That was the whole thing about the rose, and if the rose dies, he is cursed as a beast forever. And how Belle really changed him and he learned how to love and be a kind person. I liked watching the development through that.
Yeah.
Now as an adult looking at it, you didn't notice it when I was younger.
It was a great movie on the theme of redemption, and I think one of the more moving parts for the whole movie for me you touched right on it, the part with the rose where Belle, she walks into that wing that she's forbidden to go into, and there's the rose, and the score is one of awe, and I think that's something that really made the movie work, was that there was awe. It was a sense of what's right around that corner, even though it's animated and it was hand drawn, there was still a sense of what's in here? Right. And then you had that music kind of build up. And then the beast shows up. It's like, oh my gosh, I better get out of here. He's mad. So what a great scene. And there's so many and so much to love. The one thing that I would change about it, though, I felt that the villain, the resolution with the villain was just a little overly cliche. It's like, can't you think of another? Yeah. It just that I felt like it broke new territory by being as genuine as it was. Why did they do a cliche thing to resolve it with the bad guy? But apart from that, really, I mean, who didn't love Maurice? I mean, he was this crazy guy. I mean, who wouldn't want to trade places with that guy? We got to set you free. The world needs you.
I'm really excited to see the movie next year that's going to release with Emma Watson.
Oh,
I think she is
2017,
Yeah. I think she is the perfect actress for this role. I'm really excited.
She looks like Belle.
Yeah, exactly. That's why, and she's very...
It'll be refreshing to see Emma in a new light, other than Harry Potter. She'll be in a new kind of situation,
right?
A little bit more delicate. So, what did you guys think for your movies, and what other movies were related to them?
I would say, the main theme is love, and there are a lot of good things in all these movies. We all identify ourselves to the main characters,
right? Like
every movies, but these ones are special because they're about sweet. Love, and it's just the thing that I prefer in life, so perfect for me. I'm happy.
It's funny that you said related to, and how viewers will relate to the characters. I was reading up on fun facts about my movie, and one of the little facts was when they were casting this movie, usually for people in movies, they will cast 20-year-olds to play high schoolers, and you have a harder time relating because it's no one looks like that. But in A Walk to Remember, they made sure to cast them at the age that the characters were made to be, so that the viewers, the younger teenage audience, would really connect with them and get more into the story. And they had changed the time period from the novel as well. The novel was the 1950s, but they changed it more to the 1990s, so that viewers would be able to see themselves in those kind of situations and have a more emotional ride in that movie.
And another thing about A Walk to Remember was it got a PG rating in 2002. And originally when they shot it, it had a PG-13 rating, and they did a little touching with some CGI and a few shots. I don't know if you're aware.
Yeah.
It was the flyers that they passed around the cafeteria, and those had to be toned down to get a PG. And I think that was because the distributor knew it was a very sweet movie, and they wanted to have a wider audience and a younger one also, to not only just to make money, but just to share that kind of story with more people.
Yeah, they only changed one flyer, funnily enough, the casting department.
And then
the one that goes on camera, they changed.
And then the other flyers in the distance, they might be a little bit blurry, but you notice that, that they might not necessarily have that alteration, whatever that alteration may be.
For your movie, Amelia, what do you think the audience, what kind of audience do you think it hits? Is it for a younger generation or an older generation?
Probably not the very young generation, but I would say maybe not teenager either. I mean, I don't know, like adults and I guess some very old people who are nostalgic. But I'm 22 and I love that movie, so I'm sure a lot of people, everybody can watch it and appreciate it. It makes you travel a little bit in Paris and in
The city of love.
Yeah, exactly. Paris is the best city.
I find it interesting that we have two films that we've reviewed today where France is the backdrop.
Oh, very true.
Language of Love, and then naturally we have a person here on the show from France. We didn't plan it that way, it just kind of worked out.
Yeah.
Was France predominant in a lot of other Disney movies, like related to Beauty and the Beast? Were there any others? I mean...
recently, Ratatouille.
Oh, Ratatouille. Oh,
Yeah.
very
Ratatouille,
true.
yep, directed by Brad Bird, who also did The Iron Giant
Oh, really?
and
That's
The
neat.
Incredibles.
Yeah, there are some movies. I don't remember right now, but
Yeah.
I'm sure there are a lot, not a lot, but some Disney movies.
Right. With A Walk to Remember, I definitely caught on with other movies, like, it was at kind of the same time era, I want to say, as like The Breakfast Club. Like, you could tell with like how they were dressing, it was slowly transitioning into that kind of a time period. Other movies, it was so, more like every Nicholas Sparks movie is kind of similar in that regard.
Right.
And so you could relate any movie back to that, that he wrote. So, new in theaters is coming up. We have The Girl on the Train, Deepwater Horizon, Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children.
Peregrines? I'm not sure either.
And Masterminds.
Miss Peregrine, whatever. And coming soon, The Accountant. Max Steel, Kevin Hart, What Now, and Certain Women.
And also new on DVD, Ghostbusters, The Legend of Tarzan, The Infiltrator, Ice Age Collision Course.
The Ravioli, Snowden, Bad Mom, and The Secret Life of Pets.
It's the movie theater in La Crosse.
Oh, okay.
So,
I'm new to the area. I'm still getting used to things here.
Yep, on 4th Avenue, downtown by the post office.
Oh, okay. Have you been there a lot?
It's been a while, but it is a decent little venue to catch movies that you may not have seen the first time around.
Have you guys seen Secret Life of Pets? I saw that on the list. Have you seen that yet?
My wife saw it, and she had a
The
mixed
Secret
vibe.
Life of Pets.
no.
She thought it was cute, but she expected a little bit more. That's all I know.
It was very short. I remember that. It was a very quick movie.
You saw it?
Mm-hmm. I saw it in theaters with my friend. We were the only two in the theater.
Wow.
But it was a fun movie. That was very vibrant and colorful, like those kind of Despicable Me movies. It was very. It was like the same director, I believe. Did you see any other movies that on there?
Miss Peregrine is the Tim Burton's new movie, and I'm kind of excited to watch it because it looks like very strange, like usual, Tim Burton movies. I'm sure it's going to be a good movie.
Okay. Well, that's all we have time for this week on Screening Room. Please tune in next time, and we'll be seeing you at the movies. Thank you for joining us.